devotees this weekend, and let's do that little bit of work that we can do to fan. It's like if you're starting a campfire and there's a little flame. The little flame is there. But now if you just sit back and look at it, you don't do anything, in a minute or two that little flame is going to go poof, and you have no more flame. So all we have to do is fan that flame nicely a little bit every day. Just keep it going, and that flame, what will it do? If you're fanning the flame, it'll become a huge fire. So in the association of devotees, we've gotten that little flame of love of God. It's giving a little tiny bit of warmth. Now let us do the act of fanning that flame so that it matures into a robust fire which will devour anything that gets in the way. And that fanning of the flame is that we daily take to the chanting of Hare Krishna. We do it with real desire, with the consciousness that my dear Radha and Krishna, my dear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, please allow me to receive that gift of mercy that you are so freely bestowing. Please cleanse my heart. And let me, whenever I can, offer that opportunity to others. And with determination, don't let the modes of passion and ignorance pull us away for any reason. Don't let the mind trick us into thinking, tomorrow, some other day. When I'm old, then I'll take up Krishna consciousness. Just by doing that little bit of fanning every day, it's guaranteed that that flame will nicely grow into a robust fire. And that practice is most efficaciously done in the association of devotees. If we just stay at home and do it ourselves, it's quite likely that we'll lose our determination. We'll become distracted. Our mind will trick us. But when we come, what do they say? A single stick is easily broken, but you put them all in a bundle, they're very thin sticks. Even a small child could take up one of those thin sticks and break it. But you put about 100 of them in a bunch, and a big strong man can't break it. So there's strength in numbers. So, for those of you who are not aware, there is a regular satsang here in Omaha every Sunday evening. And you can see Bhaskarananda Prabhu if you're interested in being on the email list, that he can send you the information and send you invitations whenever there's special events happening, when we can come together. Of course, we're just visiting, but the local group comes together and helps each other fan the flame. So we'll stop there, see if anybody has any questions or comments. We'll take a few minutes to address any questions or comments. Then we'll do about a 10-minute kirtan while prasadam's getting ready to be served. So does anybody have anything they would like to share or ask? Finish.
Earlier in the discussion, we discussed that we are like fish out of water. Our constitutional position is to be spiritual world serving the Lord. Because we are covered by the anarthas, we are unable to perceive the love of God. But we hear from Prabhupada, like these anarthas, like we already have the love of God and torment lying within us.
You don't have the love of Godhead dormant within you. You have the tendency, the ability to love Krishna in your heart. The love of God is not in our heart yet. That's the Bhakti Lata Bij. When one actually accepts a spiritual master in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he accepts his instructions, he accepts the Maha Mantra from that guru, then the seed, the bhakti, lata, bij, bhakti, devotion, lata means the creeper, the plant, bij means seed. One receives that seed of the bhakti plant in their heart when they accept the spiritual master. So when it's said that Krishna Prema is dormant in the heart of the living entity, it doesn't mean that we have Krishna Prema and that it has to just be uncovered. It means that we have the tendency or the ability or the propensity. We're designed to love Krishna, but we're not having that love yet. But it's designed to receive that love. So that tendency has to be uncovered. And when the seed is planted there, and we water it every day, then it fully manifests.
So I had this question, like, if we already have something when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving the love of God, does it mean it is uncovering the anattas or it?
No, he's delivering it. You don't have it. You're designed to have it, but you don't have it. Like you have a computer, you know, and it's got all its little parts in there and everything, but maybe it's missing one chip or whatever, you know. But if there's a space for it, right? You don't have to go in there and drill a hole and put it in there. It's all designed. It's got a little space for it. You have to just go in and plant it in there. So we're designed to be receptacles of love of God. We have to accept that seed from the proper place. We don't want to accept the GMO seed, you know. We want to accept the real seed. So that's why we do not accept the bhakti bij, the bhakti seed, from an impersonalist who thinks that Krishna is just a stepping stone to something impersonal. We don't try to accept the bhakti bij from someone who has no faith in Krishna, no love for Krishna, improper understanding of Krishna. We must accept the bhakti bij from a pure devotee coming in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then we'll get the real seed, not just a hybrid seed or a GMO seed or something. So then when it's watered, it will germinate, and it will grow, and it will produce the fruits that we want it to produce, the sweet, juicy fruit of Krishna Prema, not something else. So watch out where you get your seed, because there's a lot of imitation ones out there. Really. That's why we have program3 or disciplic succession, so that the seed is handed down through proper channel. You can't just buy it at the store. Okay, anybody else?
Mataji, you said that we should be determined in our resolution so that we won't get affected by the moods of ignorance and passion. Right? So to build up such determination, can Dhyan Yoga or meditation help one?
Yes, that is a fact. Different types of yoga are actually meant to help give us these qualities like a controlled mind, determination, etc. But Rupa Goswami, he gives a formula for determination, which isn't just like a Hatha yoga or Dhyana yoga, although those can be helpful. We won't get into a long discussion, but yesterday we mentioned that Rupa Goswami said that if we avoid 6 activities and we accept another 6 activities, our determination in Krishna consciousness will be strong. So he said that 6 activities that we should avoid. We discussed these yesterday, so I'm not going to go into them. I'll just quickly list them. The 6 activities that we're supposed to avoid are atyahara, which means overeating or over-collecting things. You know, we're all guilty of that, right? Go look in our closets, right? In our basements, in our attics, in our garages. We're always over-collecting. The other one was prayasha, over-endeavoring for mundane achievements that are actually difficult to achieve. You know, I have to have 3 PhDs and 2 big houses, and, you know. What was the next one? Prajalpa, idle talk, gossip, mundane talk. You Jana Sangha, associating with worldly minded people. Niyamagraha, not following the rules of the scriptures. Or following them just like an automaton, going through the motions but not getting any benefit from them. Jana Sangha, the worldly association, because we get affected by the people we associate with. That's why we're inviting you to come associate with devotees, because you'll be affected by them in a positive way. And then lolium, or material greed. And then the 6 activities that so if we refrain from those 6 activities, then our determination will not get deterred. If we engage in those 6 activities, our determination is going to go down. Then he prescribes 6 activities that will improve our determination. So that is utsaha, means enthusiasm. And we give it all our energy. We're not just half-hearted, half-baked about it. We give it our all. Nishchayat means confidence. It can work for me. It's not that it only works for other people or back in the day, but it will work right now for me. And Daryat means patience. You can't expect perfection in 1 minute. You have to be patient on this path. Don't get off the path. Stay on it till you reach the destination. Then Tat Karma Pravartana, following the rules of how to engage in sadhana, how to engage in devotional service. Hear from the devotees the prescribed method for doing so nicely, properly. Sangha Tyag, renouncing, giving up, staying away from worldly association. And then the last one is following in the footsteps of the great devotees. Follow their example. If we follow their instructions and follow their examples, then our determination will stay strong. It will get better and better. There's a lot to say on that topic, but we won't say anymore. Okay, anything else?
In the slokas, the seed of Krishna will not sprout if we chant offensively. So again, in some slokas claim that whether he is offensive or inoffensive,
Yeah.
if he chants now Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda, so is that eradicates that offensiveness, or?
So if a person worships Radha and Krishna in this age, in Kali Yuga, if someone worships Radha and Krishna without going through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, their worship will be fruitless. Because in this age, it's not possible to avoid all the offenses that are there in us when we approach Radha and Krishna. So it's explained that one cannot properly chant the Hare Krishna mantra just like that, because we have commit offenses, therefore we don't reap the benefit. But if one chants the names of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu before they chant Hare Krishna, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, being so merciful, they overlook those offenses and they deliver the love of God to that person, that chanter, while they're chanting. But again, I then raise the question, well, how come we don't experience that ecstasy? Because we might be chanting the names of Chaitanya and Nityananda, but we're not actually accepting their mercy. We're going through the motions, but are we really accepting their mercy? They're freely giving the gift. They're knocking on the door, hello, I'm delivering a free gift. But we're not actually, we're like, oh yeah, sure, I'll take it. We're making a lot of lip service. Yes, yes, I accept your gift, I accept your gift. But we're not getting up and opening the door and actually accepting it. So we have to make ourselves better recipients. We don't want to just be automatons, just chanting and going through the motions, but not really. So you know what it requires? Crying. We have to cry for the mercy. That's what lolium means. Lolium doesn't just mean intellectually I really want it. It means I have to cry. When I realize how unfortunate I am, see, but most of us are too proud to admit that we're unfortunate. I'm okay. all's well, right? But we have to learn how to cry like this baby will cry for its mother when he's like really in pain or something, right? Mother knows, right? When the baby's not even in your sight, maybe in a different room, but if you hear that cry, wow, mother goes running so quickly. But when the baby's just saying, Mommy, Mommy, she doesn't come, she's, I'm busy, be quiet. I'm talking on the phone, or I'm cooking or something. But when the baby really needs the mother, the baby knows how to cry, ask all the neighbors, right? So we're not crying for the mercy. We have to cry for the mercy. But we're not convinced that we want it or need it. We're very comfortable here in the prison cell of the material world. Because look at, I'm in prison, but check out this prison, man. There's like a 20-inch, 48-inch TV screen there. I can watch anything I want to watch. And I've got really fast speed internet, and I have an expensive smartphone, and there's a machine here. I just push the buttons and I get all this like really good food that comes out, and I have a really comfortable bed and pillow, and so I'm so satisfied with my life in the jail cell that I don't even call for freedom. In fact, the door is not even locked. I could walk out if I wanted to. They'll even bring me a, what do you call it? What are those cars called? Limousine. They'll even bring me a limousine and take me anywhere I want to go. But I'm so fooled by these weapons of mass distraction all around me that I'm completely distracted from the fact that I gotta get out of here. My real life is over there with my family. So I'm not crying for freedom. And even people tell me, you should be crying for freedom. Okay, yeah. Hey guard, can I have freedom? Hey guard, can I have freedom? And meanwhile I'm watching the TV, I'm playing on the computer, and I'm lying on the bed, eating candy. And we have to cry for the mercy of Krishna. So when those tears, we were explaining yesterday, when we chant, we do not experience the tears of love of God coming from our eyes. And there's another tear that we do not experience when we chant, but we should experience. And that is the tears that Lord Chaitanya said, Durdaivam idrisam ahajani nanu raga. I am so unfortunate. I am so unfortunate, Krishna. Lord Chaitanya was playing the role of an ordinary sadhaka, bhakta. He said, I am so unfortunate that although the holy name of Krishna, the Hare Krishna mantra, that when it's chanted properly, it will cause torrents of rain, of love of God, torrents of tears coming from the eyes due to love of God. I am so unfortunate that I don't experience that when I chant. And in fact, I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for the holy name. Therefore, I'm crying. I realize that I am so unfortunate that now I am crying. But I'm crying these tears. Durdaivam idrisam ahajani nanuraga. I'm crying tears of lamentation. That I'm so unfortunate. What's wrong with me? Krishna, please give me fortune. So we have to learn how to chant like that. So we can't pretend, but we can know that that's how I'm supposed to chant. So we should chant at least internally, crying for the mercy. We may not shed the tears, But we should internally cry for the mercy. There's no other price to pay. Lord Chaitanya has come to open a school for crying. And there's no tuition that you have to pay. There's no prerequisite. The only price to pay to get love of God is to cry. That kind of cry. The baby's desperate. That's why we have to hear every day, because we don't believe that we're desperate. We're fish out of water. You take the fish out of the ocean and you put him on the beach. Can he be happy? Oh, but what if you give the fish, a nice little girlfriend? A girlfriend fish. What if you give him an umbrella to protect himself from the sun? What if you give him some lemonade to sip? And a nice little beach towel to lie on? One of those real colorful ones. What if you give him $1 million? Is he going to be happy? Foolishly, he thinks yes. So we have to go and preach to that fish every day. You fool, you don't belong here. This isn't your home, you nonsense. Why are you being distracted by all these weapons of mass distraction? Go back home, you belong in the water. There you will find your real happiness. No, this is fantastic here. I got my girlfriend, I got my, cell phone, I got my umbrella, everything's hunky-dory here. I'm doing just fine. No, you're not. You belong in the water. That's why we hear every day from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, because we have to convince our fish-like brain that we don't belong here. We should be hankering to go back home. And the only ticket to go back home is the desire to go back home. And that desire has to be that kind of desire. Crying like a baby. In desperation. That's how bad I want it. So, there's no other question or comment?
I have one question. I was in this related, one of the devotees or somebody asking question, I'm repeating the same question here. Whether if we introduce negativity, the world is not bad, the world is not good to live. So we are introducing some negativity to live in this world.
Yes, that is for less intelligent people. If the fish was actually intelligent, all I would have to do is say, my dear fish, here you are, hanging out on the beach, having a good old time. But did you know that your home is actually in the water? And that's where you're actually experiencing real happiness? If the fish was intelligent, he'd say, oh really? Fantastic, let me go there. But because he's not intelligent, I tell him 25, 30 times in a very positive way, hey, this is all hunky-dory, but I've got something really better for you. Let's go back to the water and you can really have your real life. I tell him that over and over and over again, but he doesn't listen. No, I'm fine where I am. So now I have to try another tactic. What is that tactic? Look, you are suffering here. This is not your home, right? At any minute the sun can come out and just scorch you to death and blah, blah, blah. Negativity. Negative impetus. Just like we're all sitting here in the apartment. But if somebody pulls the fire alarm, when we're going to have nice dinner in a few minutes, and then everybody's going to get up and happily go home. Oh, good, I'm going to go home now and see my family or do whatever I was going to do. It's a positive impetus. But here we all are in the room, and now somebody pulls the fire alarm. Fire! Fire! We all jump up very quickly and run out of here. It's a negative impetus. But if that fire alarm wasn't pulled, we would all just sit here not knowing about the fire, and pretty soon we'd be devoured in the fire. So it's not bad to have a negative impetus. Negative impetuses are necessary for persons who aren't responding fast enough to the positive impetus. So that's exactly the job of Durga Devi in this world. Durga Devi is the superintendent of the illusory material energy, Maya. And she has a trident, and she's always poking us with that trident, with three kinds of miseries. The Adi Atmika miseries, the miseries that come from our own body and mind. The Adi Bhautika miseries, the miseries that come from other living entities who insult us or hurt us or whatever, and cheat us. And the Adi Daivika miseries, those that come from nature, like flooding and earthquakes, too hot, too cold, whatever. That's her job. Negative impetus, negative impetus, negative impetus. And despite all the negative impetus, how many of us are getting up and running out of here? And we're suffering like anything. You know, raise your hand if you've never experienced bodily pain, misery, suffering, ignorance. Raise your hand if you've never had a disturbed mind. You know, raise your hand if you've never been disturbed by other living entities. The dog's barking too loud, the mosquitoes are biting, my neighbor insulted me. You know, raise your hand if you've never experienced the miseries from nature, too hot, too cold, blah, blah, blah. No. We're all getting poked with that negative impetus, that trident of Durga Devi all the time. And it never occurs to us, duh, maybe I don't belong here. Maybe I'm in the wrong place. Why are these miseries always attacking me? We're just dull. We're dull like the animals. Jadadiya. Jadadiya means dull intelligence like the animals. So how do you teach an animal? You go up to an animal, like a dog, and just with great logic and reasoning and arguments, convince him that he shouldn't bark. You know, usually you have to hit the dog, stop barking. That's the only thing he listens to. I'm not advocating that you hit the dogs. I'm just saying, that's what Jadadiya means. The intelligence is so dull, we have to be poked. So negative impetus is good for those of us who need negative impetuses. Okay. So now, we're going to get ready for the prasadam to be served. We'll have a 10-minute Hare Krishna Kirtan while the prasadam is getting ready to be served. So maybe you just want to explain quickly how whatever. Go through. What? Oh, as you wish. Oh, as you wish.
So, those who are, have you ever sat in on Hare Krishna Kirtan?
Yes, I've been to this content.
Oh, where?
Pune, Bangalore.
Oh, okay. You too?
आप लॉन्ग में मत दुनिया भर मत हुआ
Nah, we went to the temple.
Nice.
Mataji?
कृष्ण भूमि
Mataji?
Mataji.
यामिना
Have you sat in on any Hare Krishna Kirtan? No? We're going to chant now for a few minutes. And just to tell you briefly, one person chants and then others respond.
Back and forth.
Just going to chant. So we all try to participate. Go ahead, I'm sorry. And just hear, if we hear nicely, if we hear the mantra nicely, and whoever's leading, he has this tune, we try to follow that nicely. And then as a group, it's very harmonious. It's called Sankirtan, perfect glorification of the Lord, who's within our heart also. He's very pleased. And, you know, you've heard about it. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Nitai Gaur Premanandi. We have one prayer before prasadam.